Hi, I'm Neil Campbell. I'm a Senior Associate in the Banking and Finance team at Shepherd and Wedderburn. I'm going to talk about taking security on real estate and development finance transactions in Scotland. What do you need to consider when taking security on Scottish real estate and development finance transactions? In Scotland, security is generally taken at an asset-specific level, rather than in a single security document, as in other jurisdictions such as England and Wales. As a result, there are likely to be multiple security documents involved in any transaction involving Scottish assets or Scottish obligors. One of the reasons for this are the types of security that are available in Scotland. The other are the enforcement processes involved. Scots law doesn't recognise the concept of LPA receivership, and so security is generally enforced at an asset-specific level, either by the lender or its agent, or through some other corporate insolvency or restructuring process, such as administration or liquidation. What do you need to bear in mind in terms of documentation? In Scotland, security is generally taken on an asset-specific basis, rather than in a single security document, as in other jurisdictions such as England and Wales. Part of the reason for this are the types of security that are taken in Scotland. Another reason are the enforcement processes involved. Scots law does not recognise the concept of LPA receivership, and so security is generally enforced at an asset-specific level, either by the lender or its agent, or through administration or some other corporate insolvency or restructuring process. What are the types of security used in practice? Scots law recognises both fixed and floating security, and so any security package taken by a lender on this type of transaction will almost always consist of asset-specific fixed security as well as an all-assets floating charge. Whether the property in question is a development site or a built property such as an office block or student accommodation, a lender's primary consideration will be to have first-ranking fixed security over the property itself. In Scotland, this security is known as a standard security and is granted by the charger over the property and perfected by registration at Registers of Scotland. Where the property is subject to an operating lease or multiple occupational leases that have a valuable rental income, a lender will want to ensure that it has fixed security over this. Alternatively, if the property is a development site, a lender will want to ensure that it has appropriate fixed security over the development documents. Scots law does not recognise the concept of equitable assignments or fixed charges, and so the only way to take fixed security over these rights or documents is by way of an assignation in security perfected by notice to the counterparties on day one. In the case of development documents, the security should be coupled with a funder's usual step-in rights under a collateral warranty package. Similar principles apply where there is a Scottish company in the borrower group structure. In order for the lender to take fixed security over the shares in the Scottish company, the shares must be transferred into the name of the lender. This will involve stock transfer forms and share certificates being signed and dated, and the register of members of the company being updated to show the lender as the shareholder. Lenders should take appropriate advice to ensure that there is no risk that the Scottish company becomes a subsidiary of the lender. In some cases, this will involve the lender appointing a nominee company to take title to the shares on its behalf. Any Scottish security package will also include a floating charge that covers the charger's assets. Generally speaking, this will be an all-assets floating charge that covers all assets of the charger and sits alongside the asset-specific fixed security taken by the lender. However, in some cases, it may be appropriate for lenders to take asset-specific floating charges as well. There is one final thing for lenders to bear in mind when taking security on Scottish transactions. This is that fixed security cannot be created over future or unspecified assets. Whilst an all-assets floating charge would of course capture these assets, in the case of new or additional properties or leases or group companies that came into the structure, additional or supplemental fixed security would be required to be granted in relation to these assets. Thanks for watching. Follow the link if you would like to arrange a meeting. Hope to see you in Cannes.